To everyone who hates when I win, I can only hope that despite my flaws, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait. But it's hard. And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will.
Andrew Burnap blames Rachel Zegler for Disney's Snow White flop. Rachel Zegler, Disney's once promising Snow White, might just be Hollywood's biggest scapegoat right now. Why? Well, apparently she's been blamed for the epic failure of Disney's Snow White remake. It's not just critics pointing fingers. Now her own co-star, Andrew Burnap, is allegedly joining the blame game.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because like we cast a guy in the movie, right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. Yeah. It's one of those things that I think everyone's gonna have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all.
Rachel Zegler was the name that everyone was buzzing about. Disney's big bet for Snow White. What could go wrong, right?
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
The star, Rachel Zegler, is unbelievably charmless in public.
She was, as woke as they are.
Well, a lot apparently. In just the first few weeks after its release, Snow White became one of Disney's most disastrous live-action remakes, dropping 66% in ticket sales in the second week. And news anchors just can't stop slamming Rachel.
This weekend,
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion, but the reality is she's just not stable.
Snow White is officially one of the lowest rated Disney movies on IMDb. And let's just say, it doesn't help that every review seems to be a punch in the gut. People are saying it's diabolical, honestly. I can't understand how so much money and so much time has gone into this. The final result is cringeworthy. It is an absolute shocker. I am stumped to find any positives. As things started spiraling, Rachel, poor Rachel, tried to salvage what was left of her career. In a move that could only be described as desperate, she decided to take a visit to the theaters, hoping for some positive vibes. Spoiler alert, didn't go well. And then came that moment. Rachel and her friends pulling a little stunt at the theater, all smiles, trying to make the most of it. They walk up to the counter and ask for tickets. The employee, totally unsuspecting, asks a simple question. What followed was, well, let's just say the energy shifted.
Please?
For which movie?
With more videos popping up of empty theater seats all around the country, it was like watching a slow-motion train wreck in real time.
Here you go. I hope. Sound like I hear a couple of people. One, two. Okay.
And as if things weren't messy enough, things got a little crazy behind the scenes. Turns out, Zegler got caught in a PR storm. Allegedly, execs were already side-eyeing her after she made, let's say, colorful comments about the original Snow White. But instead of telling her to dial it down, they just hoped for the best?
By that,
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
Now, this is where things get really spicy. Enter Andrew Burnap, Rachel's co-star, who's allegedly not happy with how things turned out. His role went from winning a lottery ticket to the equivalent of a dumpster dive.
I imagine that the audition process was quite daunting. What was it like going through that?
It's so funny. It actually wasn't daunting at all because I thought there is not a chance I'm going to get this. I woke up, I got this audition notice, and I was like, okay, this is a lottery ticket. Absolutely not.
Rumors are swirling that he's blaming her for the movie's collapse. And honestly, can you blame him? From day one, Rachel's comments about the film and her co-stars were, let's just say, less than flattering. She went on record berating Snow White's love interest, played by Andrew. She basically tore apart the entire love story and gave Andrew's character zero respect.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story. With a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
For someone who claims to not have watched the original movie, sure has a lot of opinions.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So.
And it wasn't just Andrew who felt the heat. Rachel was going toe-to-toe with everyone involved in the project. There was tension with Gal Gadot too. Why? Well, Rachel took a very political stand during the movie's promotional campaign, posting support for Palestine. Let's just say, didn't exactly sit well with everyone, especially considering Gal Gadot's ties to the Israeli Defense Forces. The fallout? Well, it was so bad that Disney had to step in. They weren't just dealing with box office numbers at this point. They had to bring in extra security for Gal Gadot because of the threat she was receiving. It's safe to say things were spiraling out of control fast. At this point, Disney was stuck with a problem child they couldn't get rid of. They spent millions on this film and could barely keep their heads above water. As the drama continued, it became clear that Rachel's tweets and comments weren't doing anyone any favors, especially her co-stars or Disney's image. With backlash from every corner, Disney was forced to step in and beg Rachel to issue an apology. And let's just say her apology wasn't exactly the heartfelt kind. She talked about hatred and anger getting the best of her, but the damage was already done. She also apologized for her political comments, saying her emotions got the best of her. While the apology is there, it might be a case of too little too late. The damage was already done, and with all of the backlash, it's hard to see how things will fully bounce back for her. So, can Rachel Zegler recover from all of this? Will she ever reclaim her Disney princess crown? Or has she officially become the Hollywood villain? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.